from New York. Ebro in the morning on Hot 97.
After this, Drake and Pusha T going back and forth and Kanye getting some shots in the middle, Rhymefest decided to go on Twitter to, he said, this is what he says, I'm asking Drake to help with the part of Chicago Kanye has abandoned.
Yeah.
He's like, at Drake, when good music sends you the money they owe you, will you please help us rebuild Kanye's mother's house for the youth of Chicago?
Easy.
I spoke to Kanye about it. His response was, F the youth of Chicago. So then Kim Kardashian goes on Twitter and starts
Was it
going
Kim,
on.
though? Was this Kim,
Well,
though?
it was
At Kim Kardashian.
It was under her Twitter account, at Kim Kardashian, and she starts taking shots at Rhymefest going, you haven't been right since you got kicked out of the studio in Hawaii for wearing fake Yeezys.
I don't know if Kim Kardashian would go slandering somebody's Yeezys. Is that her style?
You know, that's what someone said to me, but at the same time, it could be their style. If we don't know the relationship. Does Kanye tell her everything?
A
does,
mother of three jumps out, and her first response to somebody complaining about a charity foundation is to slander their fake Yeezys.
All right, so listen, then she keeps going. She was like, you're over leveraging Kanye's name and ask Kanye to donate money to you. So stop with your fake community politics and lies. The truth is you haven't been able to sustain the foundation. I saw you at the studio a few weeks ago. Why didn't you bring it up then? Rhymefest. You were trying to get to Kanye to listen to your subpar beats.
Subpar.
Yeah, he said you have the audacity to use Kanye's mom's name to try shed on negative light on Kanye. You didn't say anything when Kanye paid you up front when you disappeared during Pablo. # real friends.
Bro. If that's true, Rhymefest.
Congratulations, you
Which
played
part?
yourself.
What part's true?
Wait.
The fact that they've been giving her money and he hasn't done the right things with the money to keep the foundation going. And foundations, you know, nonprofits, they run on donations, right? So if he hasn't been able to manage it right, and you're going to jump out on social media in the middle of
Already.
a hip-hop skirmish
So
to
Rhymefest.
talk about raising money for a real foundation that really helps kids, that's tacky, bro. Like you think about the climate that you've decided to go, hey, Drake, can you make a donation? While that's super tacky.
I will agree. That's not the way to handle real issues. If there's real issues around a
You
charity,
guys are helping kids in Chicago.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's what this is about. Money's not happening right with the Donda house or whatever. During a rap beef, you decide to jump on social media to make an issue.
So
It's tacky,
what did
bro.
Rhymefest say?
So he said, I'll take the heat because I know who and what I'm dealing with. I also have proof of everything. What do you do when your brother turns into Darth Vader? And then he comes back on Twitter and he says, hey, Kim Kardashian, good to hear from you. Here's my response. Now, in his response, it's pretty lengthy, but he does say, I don't care if no one in your timeline knows who I am. The people in my community and my city do. That's what truly matters to me. Your husband and I have been in correspondence for the last 2 months, which, as you stated, you saw me in the studio recently. Kanye asked me if I would come help him with this album again. I wasn't seeking Kanye. He was seeking me. I also spoke to your husband about peace and balance, as well as the work we have been doing in Chicago in regards to Donda's house. He was more interested in his record. Understand the mission of Donda's house has always been the value of a collaboration, community, and empowering the youth. So what part of that would make it worthy to you or anyone else to destroy it? Speak to the 500 plus youth that we're working with. Show up to the auditions we have scheduled for the young people to perform in the festivals. So basically, he just starts going in on how she's never even showed her face, knows anything about the organization. Because at one point, Kim was like, I'm going to do everything I can to take that organization away from you and have my kids run it.
Which also super tacky. If that's actually Kim Kardashian tweeting, because people suspect it was Kanye. That's super tacky, too. Your kids are 4, 1, and 4, 2, and 6 months. Like, what are you talking about?
Wait.
And they're not from Chicago.
All right, so
and then you
people-
don't even know what's going on. Like, what are you saying right now? That's stupid, too.
Yeah, I agree. That doesn't make any sense.
He says, how can you criticize an organization that you've never physically been to or that you've never even asked to talk to any of the executive directors or anybody on the team? He's like, I actually knew and was mentored by Dr. Donda West personally. I've met and spoke to hundreds of her students and mentees who not only support the work that we do, but, compel it. He's like, at this point, if you and Kanye want to dissolve the organization, so that you could do the work, we welcome that. As we will continue from our home in the south side of Chicago to do what we do to support our community, which we've worked with for over the 5 years. So basically, at the end, he says, look, to you and your team, you know how to get in contact with me. We're waiting for your decision. And our community is going to be okay regardless of you and Kanye.
Well, look, it's an amazing response, Rhymefest. I wish you would have just came with those facts instead of doing the whole, hey, Drake, will you donate thing? But I get it. You're emotional. There's a lot going on. And you're like, look, I hate what Kanye's doing right now. And I hate the person that he is right now. And I want to take my shot.
That's a factor. Because even beyond all of the Donda's house stuff, he probably was also really sickened by the other stuff, the MAGA
And
hat.
if he did actually go out there and try to have a conversation with him, he probably saw some things.
That was like, yo, have you lost your mind? That's what he said. Your best friend becomes Darth Vader. So he's probably got his feelings hurt, like a lot of us have our feelings hurt by Kanye.
And then Donda's house also released a statement saying they will no longer use the name Donda's house. So they're giving it to Kim and Kanye. Go ahead. If you guys say you're going to do what you're going to do with it, go ahead.
And that goes all the way back. And I'm, point it out again. When Kanye started talking about showing love and bringing people together, and we was on this program talking about, yo, have you talked to Herbo? Have you talked to Chance the Rapper? Have you talked to these people actually doing work in Chicago when you're in Calabasas, in your bubble, right? Focused on your albums and promoting yourself and keeping up with the Kardashians. Have you actually gone back to that community? And a lot of people, even including the kid GLC, put up tweets, was like, yo, fam, don't speak on Chicago. You ain't been here 17, 15 years. You don't even know what's going on.
Right.
A lot of this also could be from frustration. Like at one point, there was conversations that they've tried to talk to Kanye about this, and he wasn't interested in it. So maybe that's why he feels like he needed to say something.
Cash, you were saying?
No, that's exactly what I was going to say. That maybe he just couldn't get anything done. And he was like, well, you know what? Now I'm going to get attention. Because we haven't been getting any attention at all, any other way. So why not put it out there? Because now we're talking about it.
Facts.